Currently 15. More news as it happens on FiveAA.
Power your next adventure in a Jeep Grand Cherokee Laredo from 46k drive away. Don't hold back. Visit your local Jeep dealer today. This is FiveAA Breakfast.
Coming to 23 minutes to 7 after 7 o'clock, we'll talk about what was a big meeting between police unions around the country in Adelaide over the last 24 hours. We'll do that after 7 o'clock this morning. We'll check in with Jane Riley shortly and get the latest on the weather. And if you're waking up and finding it's a little bit cool, well, it's because today's maximum doesn't even hit yesterday's minimum, if you follow my drift. I think 25 yesterday was as cool as it was going to get, and just 20 degrees today, which I'm not sure how it stacks up over in New Zealand. We'll find out now, though, because we're heading there with Selwyn Manning, who's the editor of the Evening Report on livenews.co.nz. Selwyn, good morning to you.
Yeah, good morning, Will.
20 would be balmy in New Zealand, wouldn't it, Selwyn?
We've been waiting for 20 all year, Dave. We managed to just creep over 20, I think it was late last week, and then it dived into around the 16 degrees again. This is in Auckland, up in the north of the country. So,
I always think of New Zealand whenever it's cold here. I went to Queenstown a few years ago with my wife and the kids and went to Arrowtown, just outside of Queenstown, and bought this fantastic beanie that's made out of possum fur, and it's the best thing to wear during the cold weather.
Yeah, it certainly is. In summer, we guys in the Auckland area will sit around that top of the 20s, perhaps just go over the 30s occasionally. Down in the South Island, around that Arrowtown area, because it's a bit broader and drier down there, it will get up into the early 30s, but nothing like you guys get.
No, exactly.
Quite different.
Now, John Key, he's been in power for 8 years, which seems to have just zipped by, and he's one of the most popular prime ministers New Zealand has ever had. This latest poll has got him thumping all of his opponents, Selwyn.
Yeah, it has. If you look at the party itself, it's sitting around that 47% and has been around that area of popular support all the way through this year, up or down a couple of things. It's down a couple of points since April, for example. The 31% of the people polled in the Colmar Brunton, that's the most recent poll over here, they said 31% said they'd vote for the Labour Party. It's flatlining, Dave, on that. It's flatlining pretty much in that 31% kind of area, 32, 31 since April. 9% of them said that they would go for the centrist nationalistic New Zealand First Party, and that's led by a guy very, very well known over here, Winston Peters. That's up a bit since April. It's up 2%. The Greens have been doing pretty well. I mean, they've gone up 3% over the winter period, and this latest poll, they're on 12%. So a lot of numbers there, but what it is giving us is a pretty good idea of how the public is kind of viewing in this midterm the John Key-led government. The Nationals, obviously, that John Key leads here, it's consumed all of those smaller support parties that it has, like the Māori Party. It's only got 1% support out there. The ACT Party, which used to be a big neoliberal reform party, look, it and the United Future Party combined only get 0.2%. So the Nationals have absolutely gobbled up their kind of support out there. But John Key, Dave, he's sitting there, 40% are still saying, this is a Colmar Brunton poll, he always, it's quite hard on the incumbents in some ways, and it comes out 40% still saying that they want John Key as their Prime Minister. The interesting thing is that the Labour leader, Andrew Little, he only gets 8% support, the same as his other opposition mate, Winston Peters. And you kind of wonder there, okay, if Labour is getting 31% in the polls, why is its leader only getting the support of 8% of those polls? So Labour's got some real problems there, clearly.
Yeah, no, he sounds like he's going worse than Bill Shorten, which I didn't think was possible. Hey, in your assessment though, Selwyn, one of the reasons why John Key is so popular is that he sort of bypasses the mainstream sort of hard news journalists and ends up getting a very soft run with a lot of the zany sort of FM types and the more sort of celebrity-driven sort of journos. Now, he's done this interview this week.
I saw this on John Oliver's show in the US.
I haven't seen it.
Oh, this is remarkable,
Tell
Selwyn.
us about this thing he's done on this Auckland radio station.
Yeah, this is typical John Key, yeah, and you're absolutely right. In my view, and a lot of people over here, they believe it is because John Key makes sure he's out there in these weird kind of interviews, acting the clown. As he says, he's got to entertain thousands of people every week. He says that himself. And it's very difficult to get John Key fronting on critical kind of issues. But this particular interview, it's you guys are going to play it, I think. I think you're keen to hear of it. But it's one of those things that is absolutely weird, John Key. You know, he pulls out these blinders. He went on to the program on Radio Hauraki in Auckland here, Matt, Jeremy and Laura's breakfast program, and they have this bulletin on there called "Thank you for your honesty," and it lines up and puts these outrageous questions to whoever is in the chair, you know, over this. Now they put questions like, and you guys will hear this, but just
I can play it now, Selwyn, if you like.
Okay,
I've got it right here, and people do need to hear this to believe it.
Prime Minister John Key, have you been drunk, tipsy or twanged in the past month?
No.
Have you ever killed an animal bigger than an insect?
Yes.
Have you pashed a man?
No.
Was the Virgin Mary really a virgin?
No.
Prime Minister John Key, this is an important one. Do you trim your downstairs?
No.
Have you ever done wheeze in the shower?
Yes.
Have you ever stolen anything?
Yes.
Have you ever sent a dick pic?
No.
Is Wendy Petrie sexy?
Oh, this one's hard. Yes, because otherwise she might be mortally offended if I say no.
Well, that's not... You've already mortally offended her with the delay.
Okay. Yeah. Oh, yes. All right. Okay.
Prime Minister, have you fed the chickens in the last month?
Jesus Christ.
It's important.
I've got to take the fifth. I can't.
Sorry, Prime Minister, I have to push you on this one. I have to push you.
Yes or no, Prime Minister? Yes or no, Prime Minister?
Question.
Yes or no?
Fear of being sued by my wife.
Yes or no, Prime Minister?
Well, okay, give me the. If it was yes, it would definitely be with my wife. That's the answer.
Okay. Now we've clearly been doing it wrong on breakfast radio,
what,
David. Everyone's been getting a pretty soft run based on the strength of that.
There's some beautiful
Pick up a
terms.
few tips there.
Yeah, I think so.
Picked up some new words. I love the word twanged for being absolutely blotto. That's a fantastic term. Not sure what a duck. I'm not sure what a duck puck is though.
Selwyn, clearly though, there's not much. I mean, given his stand in the polling, the fact that everyone sees that he's doing that interview instead of the more serious stuff doesn't seem to be harming it. It doesn't seem to be hurting him.
No, I think what it does do there is it plays to this brand that John Key is trying to put out there. You know, if you look at it from this point of view, he's trying to actually make himself look like he's one of the guys. And he does that extremely successfully. Look, you know, if you compare to your Malcolm Turnbull, could you imagine Malcolm Turnbull turning up and doing the same thing?
No, I think he'd be much more comfortable if he was on the Q&A program talking about the, crisis in the Middle East or future of tax reform or something like that. Hey, we'll catch up with you again next week, Selwyn. Mad keen to talk to you about the World Cup because it looks like Australia are going to end up